The table listened silently as I began my tirade upon the three men fearfully staring at me. "Please calm down, Marshall," George vainly replied as my face grew red. "You shut the hell up. Do you have any idea how much precious time, money, and resources I've spent on this film? And now you're simply cutting me out. How can you think I'll be calm about that?" I still had enough control on myself to look around and noticed that the majority of the people once sitting had now stood up, while cautiously approaching me. It was a movement that some do when they're attempting to get closer to a snake without getting bit. Basically, the same meaning behind it, only that they were worried I would lash out at them as well. "What the fuck are you guys looking at?" I bellowed angrily, causing some to flinch back a few steps. I returned my sight on George and his directors. "Marshall, please calm down," he exclaimed back. I shot out a deathly harsh glare as both of my fists clenched, but suddenly he added, "Look, what do you want? I can't put you in the project anymore since we sort of found a replacement." The uneasiness of George's current predicament showed clear on his face, making him susceptible to virtually anything I ordered. I stared long and hard, inches away from him, sensing the fear in his breath. A smirk lined around my mouth as I said, "I want all the money that I put in this movie. You pay me back, and I'm gone." My response was neither casual nor forced. After a second's hesitation, George replied with a "You got it." And I quietly made my way back to my car while passing off a cold glare or two toward some less liked co-workers. Well, it was definitely not the way I had expected things to unfold, but at least I was the one who reaped the most rewards from the scene I had just pulled. Good thing acting classes were necessary to obtain a position in this business, otherwise I might not have fooled them. What Mr. George and his little pets did not realize was that I had put in such an exuberant amount of money on technology, equipment, and work for this film that it was almost not even worth investing anymore, but now they had just agreed to pay me back every last cent. Most of my spending was done throughout a large period of time, but now all of it was coming back in one clean sweep thanks to Mr. George. With that stubborn project out of the way and a hefty sum now under my name, I could definitely spend more time with little Lee. A small chuckle escaped me as I briskly drove to visit my little girl once again. After making a couple of lefts on some stoplights, I arrived at the orphanage. My footsteps were already familiar to the hallways that lead to Lee's room. Some of the staff seemed to have also gotten used to me, as occasionally I would be greeted with a hello by a passing caretaker. I slowly opened the door and was met with the sight of a number of small children quietly napping on their respective beds. An adult was silently walking around, checking on the children, and happened to notice me come in. She waved at me, to which I waved back. Practically tiptoeing, I made my way to Lee's bunk.